DeAndre Ayton has been in some controversy as the Blazers parted ways with Ayton in a move that came across as shocking. A former #1 overall pick, a championship contending center who at the age of 26 was just let go by a rebuilding Blazers team. No trade, no assets back, the Blazers just bought out Ayton and told him to go away. And yes, they have Donovan Clingan, Hansen Yang as centers who they are very high of, but they also let go of Ayton, who they reportedly grew frustrated of. For a guy who was drafted with expectations of being a franchise center, who had great physical tools and skills offensively and defensively, at this point of his career, he should have rose to being a top 5 center in the league with his skill set. But those expectations faded away with consistent poor play and a lack of effort. Ayton is expected to look for a contender under the right circumstances, the right team. He can be rejuvenated again to play some high-level basketball. And at 7 feet, he has really great physical tools, 250 pounds with a 7'6" wingspan, and Ayton is a consistent double-double guy whose main value is providing play finishing to a team. He shoots 74% at the rim, and with the right playmaker, Luka Doncic, he can be a nice dump-off lob target as a big man. He can go to the rim off the roll and finish with some nice touch. His touch around the rim is one of the best in the league. He finishes hook shots, mid-range jumpers. The hook shot is a signature move for him. He can get it off of spin moves or turn it over his right shoulder to get them off. He shoots 58% on hook shots. I do like in isolation situations that he has the ability to really seal guys and make himself available for a pass, and in pick and roll situations he can roll right into space around the paint, free throw line area, and just pop right into that jump shot if the defense is sagging or dropping off of him. Ayton does get frustrating at times because there are times where he will post a guy up and he is just shying away from contact, which it doesn't make sense looking at his physique, and he will end up taking longer hook shots against heavy pressure. There's so many times where he comes off of screens, he will settle for a push shot or a jumper, even though he can give a quick bump or a couple of back downs on a weaker center and generate easier shots right around the basket. It's very frequent to where even if he gets matched up on a switch on forwards, he will settle for long hook shots. And it's kind of mind-boggling because he has one of the best bodies for a center, great size, weight, wingspan, frame, who is also fluid with his movement and isn't awkward. It is just absolutely insane looking at the stat that this man averages 1.5 free throws a game. Miles Turner, Daniel Gafford, Jarrett Allen, Nick Richards, who I just do not like as a center, averages more free throws than DeAndre Ayton. What is going on? Those guys average more free throws than DA. I cannot fathom that, and I don't understand how that's the case with him. He shoots 48% in the mid-range. He is very comfortable taking mid-range shots in the elbows, free throw line areas, off the catch, and rising into space with that shot. These mid-range jumpers allow him to be a threat against defenses that prioritize protecting the rim, such as 2-3 zones, drop coverage, and it also adds another element of spacing in his game because defenses do have to make a decision to step up on that shot. And if he plays next to a high-level creator that generates a ton of attention, he is capable of cleaning up everything else on the offense, just finishing plays, can pop right into space really good. And I've been saying for years I do want to see him touch more into some three-point attempts. I don't know if it's going to happen anytime soon, but at least attempting like 2 to 3 three-pointers a game and seeing if he can be a threat from there, it'll at least help and at least diversify more of his offense. Ayton is a solid screener. He's not really a forceful or brick wall, but he does help in creating enough advantages for high-level players. He has always had the skill of working as a short roll passer. His short rolls being able to pop into space for a jumper or beam a pass. He takes his time in that short roll area to scan the floor or take it in for himself, and those are valuable skills as a center that he can provide. He is not lightning quick with those short roll passes, but he is more so willing and capable of scanning the floor and making the right read. DeAndre Ayton is also a really good rebounder. He's always been a great rebounder coming into the league. The length and positioning helps, and he is active as an offensive rebounder, going in for tip-ins and fighting against other bigs for the board. Ayton on offense is best suited as a play finisher. Played great next to a high-level point guard in Chris Paul, and his offense waned when he wasn't with Chris Paul. He isn't physical enough to create consistent shots inside for himself, and he leaves a lot of points off the board from the free throw line with that lack of physicality. A guy like Joel Embiid, who has a fluid handle as a big and can play with the threat of his jumper to create pull-up shots or blow-by opportunities on the way to the rim. Embiid is also great at playing low with the ball in his hands and shielding off defenders to create shots inside, as well as drawing fouls. Those are areas in DeAndre Ayton's game that really lacks, that will take him to that next step as an offensive creator. It's just having a better handle with the ball and being able to take guys off the dribble. He just doesn't have that in his game. So at this point, DeAndre Ayton is a really good play finisher who is based more on finesse than power, can provide short roll playmaking, mid-range shooting, and offensive rebounding. All really good foundations, but with his physical gifts and talent, you really want more from Ayton. DeAndre Ayton, when he is engaged, and I really stressed engaged on defense, he can be a really good rim protector, can be a help side protector, can also defend in space, has the mobility and athleticism to be a factor on that end. He is best suited as a rim protector, can defend well in the post, keep his defender in front on rolls, staying in solid position in drop coverage. Asking him to switch on the perimeter is just doing too much, but there are moments as a rim protector where he isn't always engaged, meaning he will miss rotations, late to help, or just staring mindlessly into space as the offense scores on a shot that he could have impacted. He has solid instincts and reaction timing, but those are areas that can be much better for a big man like him compared to guys like Rudy Gobert, Anthony Davis, Wemby, the elite defensive anchor type of dudes. The size, length, and mobility does help a lot in being a drop coverage defender who can absorb bumps and stay stable and keep his arms up to deter shots. What has always been a problem is the consistency to defend. Just moments where he doesn't give that effort, and I mentioned again the late rotations and at times biting on fakes. Through DeAndre Ayton's dark years, I have always been a believer in him. I've spoken highly of his strengths, and I do believe in that 2018 NBA draft, he was the rightful #1 overall pick. I know people like to try and recreate history and stuff like that. I believe that then. I know people who say like Luka or Trey, and I get that, but the type of prospect DeAndre Ayton was in that draft, where he was looked to be a legitimate franchise center who was NBA ready. His physical tools were something that already stood out right out of the gate. There was none of that, oh, he needs to bulk up, he needs to fill out his frame, his body needs to take time to develop in a few years. No, he had an NBA ready body. Plus the touch was amazing, the rebounding was there, the jump shooting potential, and as well as the defensive potential. Other than Wembanyama, there wasn't really another #1 overall center in the last decade whose physical tools and skills were that great as a center. Hell, I can make that argument dating back to Greg Oden and Dwight Howard. Anthony Davis still had to grow that offensive game and fill out his frame. The only thing that didn't grow in his game to make him a legit star was his self-creation skills. And as his career went on, the effort, motor issues started to rise. Whoever gets DeAndre Ayton will get a player who can play, but you do have to worry about the motor issues. I worry about that report that Portland was frustrated with Ayton and how he reacted to games. I honestly believe that the Lakers should take the flyer on him. I think Luka would do wonders for Ayton, but I also ponder about the fit in Detroit and how Cade could unlock him. But I do feel Luka is the best type of guard, the best passer to get the most out of DeAndre Ayton. That'll wrap it up for this video. If you enjoyed the video, please do give it a like and subscribe to the channel for more NBA breakdowns like these. With all that being said, I'll see you all in the next video.